Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
All right, welcome everybody. This is yourliveevent.com on this Thursday, I should say this rainy Thursday evening here from Lisbon, North Dakota. Broadcasting to you live from the Lisbon High School Gymnasium as we have a Division A Region 1 girls volleyball contest between the Lisbon Broncos and the Kindred Vikings. The Lisbon Broncos currently in the region are 1-1. The Kindred Vikings are 2-1. And that is your matchup tonight here on yourliveevent.com. We're going to go ahead and step away, take away from our sponsors, and come back for our pregame. That's just ahead on your live event.
Ag, your local precision planting dealer, and we are here to help. Discounts, 0% financing, and $50 per row rebates on most all systems will give you the tools to improve your planter pass. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 or visit planterdoc.com. Have a safe and profitable harvest.
What if we said a bank isn't a place to lock up money? It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if, a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is yourliveevent.com, and we're inside the Lisbon High School Gymnasium for a Division A Region 1 girls volleyball contest between the Lisbon Broncos. The Broncos' current overall record is 3-8 overall. They sit at 1-1 in Region 1 play. The Kindred Vikings are at 5-2 overall, and they currently sit with the 2-1 record in Region 1. The Broncos opened up their season back on the 2nd of September. That was at Oaks, where they dropped that first game of the season to the Oaks Tornadoes by a score of 2-3, and then they came back and played Lemoore Litchfield Marion in their home opener. On the 4th of September, they lost that contest to Lemoore by a score of 3-0 to Lemoore. They played at the Valley and the Volley in Castleton, where they went 1-2, came back on the 9th of September, and were defeated by the Oak Grove Grovers by a score of 3-0. And then picked up their first region win of the season on the 11th of September against the Wahpeton Huskies by a score of 3-0. And then they were active again on the 16th of September. The Broncos were defeated by the Interland Eagles by a score of 3-2, so their county rivals. The Interland Eagles defeated the Broncos by a score of 3-2, and that's your Broncos sitting at 1-1 in the region and 3-8 overall. The Broncos are coached by Amy Lyons, and the Kindred Vikings opened up their season on the 2nd of September, where they defeated the Grafton Spoilers at Grafton by a score of 3-2. They're also active at the Volley in the Valley, where Kindred and Lisbon did meet up. Kindred went 2-1 at the Volley in the Valley, and they also were able to defeat the Broncos 2-0 in that tournament. On the 9th of September, Kindred was defeated by Valley City by a score of 2-3. And that was on the Vikings home court. Then they traveled to Northern Cass on the 11th of September, where they defeated the Jaguars by a score of 3-1. And then were away again for Oak Grove on Tuesday, and they defeated the Grovers by a score of 3-1. And that is your current standings there. Overall, 5-2 for the Kindred Vikings and 2-1 in region play for Kindred. And they're coached by Autumn Schaefer. The Broncos, after the night, will play Central Cass on the 23rd. That's an away game on the 23rd of September at Central Cass. And then Kindred plays Mayport CG at Kindred on the 23rd of September. The Broncos are back in action on the 25th, where they will take on Sargent County, and then they'll finish out September against Valley City. Both of those games are home on the 25th and the 30th of September. And then Kindred finishes out their September schedule on the 30th of September as well, with a game against Wahpeton, and that is at Wahpeton. And looking ahead to the region tournaments. Region tournament are the 10th to the 13th of November, played at Valley City. So the Region 1 Division A volleyball tournament is played at Valley City from the 10th to the 13th of November. They have the state volleyball choir playing games on the 15th, and the state tournament's at the Bismarck Event Center from the 20th to the 22nd of November. And as of, I guess, this week, still no volleyball, Division A volleyball polls out there to speak of. We do have our returning state champions, Langdon area Munich. They defeated South Prairie Max last year at the state tournament for the Class B championship by a score of 3-1. So Langdon area is your returning state champions. And they are active this evening against North Border. And looking at some of the other Region 1A games, or looking at some Region 1A games or some other games in Division A girls volleyball, we have Central Cass at Oak Grove, Valley City's at Northern Cass, Carrington's at Grafton, Thompson's at Harvey Wells County, Devils Lake is at Hillsborough Central Valley. And then looking at your Division B volleyball schedule for this evening, we will have Lemoore Litchville Marion at Napoleon Gackle Streeter, Ellendale is at Lytton HMB, Richland's at Tri-State, Maple River's at Medina Pingree Buchanan, Interland's at Sargent County, Ellendale Edgeley Montpelier is at Kidder County, and South Border is at Strasburg Zeeland. So those just are some of your Region 1A or Region 1 Division A and statewide volleyball contests, and then your Division B volleyball contest. A lot of the local teams in Division B active this evening as well. So we'll step away. We're about 15 minutes away from our national anthem and our starting lineups, and we will be back after a word from our sponsors.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
Fall is here, and that means harvest will ramp up quickly. How did your planter do this spring? Did you have the correct down pressure? Was your singulation spot on? Did you need row cleaners or a better closing system? This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer, and we are here to help. Discounts, 0% financing, and $50 per row rebates on most all systems will give you the tools to improve your planter pass. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 or visit planterdoc.com. Have a safe and profitable harvest.
All right, welcome back. This is YourLiveEvent.com. We're still in our pre-match inside the Lisbon High School Gymnasiums for Division 1A girls volleyball contest between the Lisbon Broncos and the Kindred Vikings. The Broncos, once again, 1-1 in Region 1 play. They're 3-8 overall. Kindred Vikings are 2-1 in Region 1 play. They're 5-2 overall. Both teams were active this week. The Broncos dropped a 2-3 loss or match to the Enderlin Eagles on the 16th of September, while the Kindred Vikings defeated Oak Grove on the 16th of September by a score of 3-1. Looking at your Region Division A volleyball standings, we'll start with Region 1, your top four teams in Region 1 play as they currently stand with their region records. You have Valley City High School, the only undefeated team to date in Region 1, sitting at 2-0. They're 4-0 overall. Kindred High School is at 2-1. They're 5-2 overall. Central Cass 2-1 and 6-3 overall. And then Oak Grove 1-1 in the region along with Lisbon. In Region 2, your top four teams. Harvey Wells County undefeated at 2-0. They're 9-2 overall. Mayport CG along with Carrington High School and Grafton all sitting at 1-0. Mayport CG overall 6-3, Carrington 4-1, and Grafton is 6-6. That's out of Region 2. Your Region 3 top four teams. You have South Prairie Max sitting at 1-0 in Region 3 play. They're 4-0 overall. Stanley High School along with Turtle Mountain Community High School are 1-0 as well. Stanley High School sits at 11-6 overall, and Turtle Mountain at 1-1 overall. Then you have Des-Lex Burlington and Rugby High School still have yet to record a region contest out of Region 3. Those are your top 4 tied for 4th teams. They're out of Region 3 Division A volleyball standings. Your top 4 teams out of Region 4. We have Dickinson Trinity High School undefeated in Region 4 play. They're sitting at 3-0, along with Shiloh Christian High School undefeated at 2-0. Dickinson Trinity is 10-1 overall. Shiloh Christian High School is 4-4 overall. Then we have Hazen High School in Region 4 play. They're currently at 1-1, and they have a 5-4-1 record. And then Watford City rounds out the top 4 in the region standings out of Region 4. They're sitting at 1-2 in Region 4 play. They're 1-6 overall. Those are your current region standings, Division A volleyball regions 1 through 4. As now we're about 10 minutes away from our starting lineups and national anthem here inside the Lisbon High School Gymnasium. We will step away and continue our pregame show. That's just ahead here on YourLiveEvent.com.
Said a bank isn't a place to lock up money. It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated. KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
Keep your car moving along with the team at Elite Automotive Center in Fargo. What sets Elite Automotive Center apart from the herd is their truly extensive list of services. From brake and tire service to tune-ups and battery replacement, there's no job too big or small for their ASE certified technicians. Schedule your next oil change by going to EliteAutomotiveCenter.com or scan the QR code on your screen now. Never settle for standard service. Stop by Elite Automotive Center today in Fargo.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
When you choose Farmers Union Insurance, you're backed by an insurance policy provider that meets your specific requirements. At Farmers Union Insurance Gullus & Olson Agency, they offer reliable insurance policies from homeowners, farm and ranch, contractors, small businesses, and more. Let Lance, Shelby, and the staff at Gullus & Olson Agency take care of you today. For more information, stop into their office on Main Street in Lisbon for Farmers Union Insurance Gullus & Olson Agency.
Make your stop before or after the game at the Knickerbocker in Hickson, North Dakota. Stop out throughout the week for mouth-watering lunch specials weekdays and mark Friday nights down on the calendar for prime rib, ribeye steak, or some walleye at the Knickerbocker. For more information or to find out about daily specials, give the Knickerbocker a like on Facebook by searching the Knickerbocker. Great food and good people. You can find it all at the Knickerbocker in Hickson, North Dakota.
Buying a new home, but worried about the interest rate and terms from your bank? At First Class Mortgage, we'll find a mortgage that fits your needs. Shopping national banks and other lenders for the lowest rate and most affordable terms. Saving you time and money. So all you need to worry about is enjoying your new home. First Class Mortgage. Our expertise, your peace of mind. Put an expert to work for you. Call today.
Buying, selling, or leasing commercial real estate or farmland in the Fargo-Moorhead and surrounding area? From office to retail, industrial to multifamily, commercial land to farmland. As the #1 commercial, sales, and leasing brokerage in the FM region, Goldmark Commercial has the experience and skills to handle all of your commercial real estate and farmland needs with the highest levels of customer service and marketing around. Trust the experts at Goldmark Commercial Real Estate to lead your team to success.
All right, welcome back here to Lisbon High School Gymnasium. Division A girls volleyball this evening between the 1-1 Lisbon Broncos in Region 1 play and the 2-1 Kindred Vikings in Region 1. That is your contest this evening. The Broncos coached by Amy Lyons. The Kindred Vikings coached by Autumn Schaefer. Kindred currently sits in second place at 2-1 in Region 1 play. The Broncos currently in fifth with that 1-1 region record. They're tied with Oak Grove for that fourth spot. Oak Grovers did defeat the Broncos in Region 1 play earlier this month, so Broncos sitting in fifth place or fifth position right now at 1-1 in the region. And looking at your starting lineups, the lineups for the contest this evening, we will have the Kindred Vikings visitors on the scoreboard, up on that Bank North scoreboard. Starting off with number 2 is 5'2" sophomore defensive specialist Mallory Keller. Then we have 5'7" sophomore right side hitter number 1 Ivy Trinbeth. Then we have 5'8" senior middle hitter number 6 Lila Kittleson. 5'11" sophomore outside hitter number 9 Taylor Sanders. Then we have 5'9" senior setter number 10 Lauren Onken. Then we have sophomore middle hitter number 16 Sierra Nipstead. So Kindred Vikings will send out Keller, Turnbeth, Kittleson, Sanders, Onken, Beauclair, and Nipstead. And then for the Lisbon Broncos, their starting lineup. Starting out, we have freshman right side hitter number 2 Mara Nelson. Junior right side hitter number 3 Bryn Wilsey. Senior outside hitter number 4 Riot Wertman. Senior middle hitter number 7 Emerson Schwab. Senior defensive specialist number 8 Aubrey Opp. Junior middle hitter number 10 Cameron Hoff. And junior libero number 20 Brinley Differding. So those are your starters for each of tonight's teams, the Lisbon Broncos and the Kindred Vikings. As we're about 4 minutes away from our national anthem. And we'd just like to make mention of our feature sponsors. During the pregame show, we do have our feature sponsors this evening. We have our Bank North scoreboard, our Olson Accounting set recap and match recap, our Stockgrowers Bank broadcast booth, our Agassi Egg Precision Play of the Game, and our Enbridge Energy Play of the Game. These are our feature sponsors, as well as our ad sponsors. We'd just like to thank each and every one of them for bringing you these high school sports all season long or all fall long here on YourLoveEvent.com for Lisbon High School athletics, both girls volleyball and boys football, 11-man football. So just once again like to extend our gratitude and thanks to our feature sponsors and also our ad sponsors for the fall season here on Your Live Event for Broncos High School athletics. And we're going to step away and we'll have another word from our sponsors as we have our opening lineups inside the gymnasium and our national anthem just ahead.
Green Earth Landscaping offers a full range of services, including commercial and residential landscape design and installation, maintenance and sprinkler services. From outdoor kitchens to patios, retaining walls, lighting, fine grade, sod and hydroseed, and anything in between, Green Earth Landscaping has you covered. servicing the Fargo-Moorhead area and beyond. For more information, go online to greenearthnd.com. That's greenearthnd.com.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
All right, welcome back to LiveEvent.com. We're back inside Lisbon High School Gymnasium as teams wrapping up their warm-ups just prior to tonight's contest. This still is your pre-match show. Just like to make mention, we are broadcasting to you from the Stockgrowers Bank broadcast booth, or Stockgrowers Bank. It's your small-town bank. And your big-time partner, that's your Stockgrowers Bank broadcast booth. With Stockgrowers Mobile App, experience banking at your fingertips anytime, anywhere. Bank near so you can go far with Stockgrowers Bank. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. As we're broadcasting high above the bleachers on the south side of the gymnasium in the Crow's Nest, this is your Stockgrowers Bank broadcast booth. And looking ahead at some of your upcoming Broncos athletics. And the Broncos football team is active tomorrow evening as they play at Oaks in a big Region 1 Division A contest. Oaks getting the better of the Broncos the last couple of seasons, keeping them from making the playoffs. And then on the 2nd of September, the cross-country team is active at Valley City for an 11 a.m. start down at Valley City. And then on the 22nd of September, we have junior high volleyball at Central Cass. Junior high football is at Ellendale Edgeley-Combe. And then the JV football game that was scheduled to be played at Ellendale Edgeley-Combe has been canceled. And then on the 23rd of September, the volleyball team is active at Central Cass. And the 5th and 6th grade volleyball's at Edgeley, and the junior high volleyball team is at the Oaks Triangular, and that's all on the 23rd of September. So as we get ready for that national anthem inside the high school gymnasium, we will step away one more time before starting lineups in our opening serve on YourLiveEvent.com.
The Kindred Public School District looks to collaboratively cultivate an environment that challenges learners to reach their full potential in a student-centered, community-supported environment while building authentic relationships that promotes active engagement in learning, literacy, and life. Kindred Public Schools' mission is to educate, prepare, and maximize student potential. Kindred Public School District, student-centered, community-supported. For more info about upcoming school events and news, go online to kindred.k12.us.
Hey Lisbon, it's time to rally behind our favorite team. The Lisbon Bronco Athletic Boosters are sending all our best wishes to the Broncos as they hit the court and field this season. The Lisbon Bronco Athletic Boosters are proud to support our teams and community. Let's show our Broncos that we're with them every step of the way. Go Broncos! Your dedication and spirit makes us all proud. From all of us at the Lisbon Bronco Athletic Boosters, we're cheering for you.
The Lisbon Public School District ensures that all students will learn, experience success, and be good students from elementary through high school. The school staff and community takes great pride in providing meaningful, innovative opportunities for students who continue to maintain ACT scores above state and national averages. Watch your kids continue to grow within the Lisbon Public School District, from the playing surface to the classroom. For more information, go online to lisbon.k12.nd.us.
While medicine's greatest advancements look like the latest sci-fi, one of our most powerful tools is far more simple, more human. It's a calling to connect with purpose. That's how we're evolving healthcare, by treating people, not just patients, with innovations that amplify healing, and lead to more personalized care. Guided by the belief we all hold the power to heal.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, ready to rock and roll inside Lisbon High School Gymnasium as our Division A Region 1 girls volleyball contest between Lisbon Broncos and the Kindred Vikings set to kick off. They're going through their starting lineups inside the Lisbon High School Gymnasium as we'll get into those once again. For the Kindred Vikings, starting out, they have 5'2" sophomore defensive specialist Mallory Keller, 5'7" sophomore right side hitter number 1 Ivy Trenbreath, 5'8" senior middle hitter number 6 Lila Kittleson, and they have 5'11" sophomore outside hitter number 9 Taylor Sanders. Then we have senior setter number 10 Lauren Oken. Then we have 5'7" outside hitter, that's senior Jasmine Beauclair, number 15. And then we have sophomore middle hitter number 16 Sierra Nipstead. Those are your starters for the Kindred Vikings. And then looking at your home team, the Lisbon Broncos. The Broncos starting out have freshman right side hitter number 2 Mara Nelson, junior number 3 right side hitter Bryn Wilsey, senior number 4 outside hitter Riot Wortman, senior number 7 middle hitter Emerson Schwab. And then we have senior defensive specialist number 8 Aubrey Opp, junior number 10 middle hitter Cameron Hoff, and junior number 20 libero position Brinley Differding. And those are your starting lineups for the Kindred Vikings and the Lisbon Broncos. Just like to mention, the Vikings are coached by Adam Schaefer and assisted by Harley Bunke and Hope Ogren. And the Broncos are coached by Amy Lyons, assisted by Elizabeth Lyons and Kira Tui. And tonight's officials inside the Lisbon High School Gymnasium for this contest are Sydney Anderson and Jeremy Lucio. And then your line judges are Sandy Hoff and Benjamin Zarbach. Those are the officials for tonight's contest in your starting lineups as we're just now moments away from our opening serve inside the Lisbon High School Gymnasium. We'll step away for one last 30-second break, come back for that opening serve.
Partnership is a way of life here in the Northland. It's about pitching in to help our neighbors, making lending decisions locally, honoring long-term commitments to farmers, Main Street businesses, teams, schools, and rural communities. We're more than just a bank. We're a community partner, working constantly and diligently to enrich the lives of everyone we serve. Bank North, always true.
Running a business is tough, but your accounting doesn't have to be. Let Olson Accounting check all the boxes. From taxes, payroll, business services, and professionalized financial guidance, all tailored to fit your requests. Whether you're a small business owner or just need help at tax time, trust Olson Accounting for professional, reliable service every time. Visit colsoncpa.com or call 701-683-2700. Olson Accounting of Lisbon.
All right, welcome back here, YourLiveEvent.com, as our opening serve going to the Kindred Vikings. So Vikings with the opening serve. That's Onken with the serve for Kindred. That's it over the net. Taken by Opp for the Broncos. Wilsey gets it to the front line. Workman with the attack. And that was off of Sanders. Front line for the kill in the attack, but denied by the Broncos front line. So point going to Broncos. First point goes to Lisbon. So this is our first set of the evening. Broncos lead by a score of 1-0. And that's the attack, and not able to handle it is Opp in the back line. That was a kill for Beauclair. So give Beauclair the point on the kill. And we're tied up at 1 apiece in the first set. And the serve on the opposite side. It looked like Keller. Excuse me, that wasn't Keller. Looked like a sub in there wearing the number 3 jersey, so they have to keep up with that. And looks like Caitlin Brink with the serve. So that serve is out. That'll bring in Erdman. So Riley Erdman in. Erdman with the serve for the Broncos. Goes to the front line of the Vikings. In the tip over at the net. That was by Kittleson. Hit back by Mouse. And off the put back by the Vikings. Differding went down low. Tried to hit the one-handed dig, and that goes out. So another point for the Vikings, tied up at 2. Good back and forth battle here. First 4 points. And back to serve Mallory Keller. Wearing the white jersey for Kindred. Keller with the serve, goes to the back line. That's Differding, takes it. Adair hits it back. That was Hoff. Front line in the attack by Sanders. In the point. Broncos not able to handle it. And 3-2 is your score. Give Sanders the kill. Keller back to serve once again. Second serve for Keller. Puts it in the air. Handled by Erdman. Adair gets it up. The attack by Wilsey. Nice dig by Brink. Kindred sends it over the net. Here's Adair at the front line off the net. Trying to get it over, and they do. Not sure if that was Erdman. Differding able to get it back up in the air. The Wilsey hits it over. Cross-court shot. That was handled by Onken, going to the front line. Up on the attack, that's Sanders. Adair now, Mouse hits it over. That's back to Keller. Front line on the attack once again. Sanders in the kill for Sanders. Sanders now recorded 2 kills. Sanders, the sophomore, 5'11" outside hitter, now has the Kindred Vikings up 4-2. Third serve here for Keller for Kindred. That's handled by Differding. Dug out. Put to the front line by Adair. Going up is Wilsey for Lisbon. Back to the front line. Sanders bopping it over is Onken. The Broncos make an error there. Differding not able to handle it. And that goes out. Here Erdman is out. And Quala's in. So now 5-2. Keller continues to serve for Kindred. No ace by either side recorded yet. And that's out. And serve goes back to the Broncos. Now 5-3 is your score. Broncos down by 2. We're tied up at 2. Kindred pulled away. Broncos with the other point reels them back into that 2-point lead for Kindred. That's handled by Brink. Put back in by Keller. Over the net by Sanders. Broncos with the double dig in the front line. Goes to Mouse with the attack. That's off of Keller. Sanders puts it over. Now the double dig again. Adair. Schwab goes up and hits it inside the line for the point in the kill for Schwab. Schwab hits the backcourt. Nobody there. Nobody home for the Vikings. Now 1-point lead for Kindred. 5-4. Hoff goes up on the serve. Puts it in the net. And now subbed out with Differding. So 6-4 is your score. Kindred coming off that big Region 1 win against Oak Grove. Oak Grove returning state place winners last year at last year's state tournament. I think I had them down for 6th place last year at the state tournament. They were able to defeat the Grovers in Region 1 play, and that's blocked. And at the net, looks like Sanders and Nipstead with the block. Like I said, I don't know how you record those. A half a block each, kind of like a sack in football when a couple tacklers get there on the quarterback. So I'm going to give them half of each. And that's Differding in the ace. Going in there for Collins, McQuillan. Or McQuillian. And the serve again by McQuillian. That's not handled. And another one. Give her back to back for McQuillian. The sophomore, 5'9" setter. So McQuillian with the hot serve just gets it over the net. Differding with the dig. Going to Sanders. Sanders missed jumps and times it with an error. So the Broncos pick up the point. Now 9-5. As Kindred just keeps inching just a little bit further away. Now Wilsey to serve. Front line for Lisbon. Looks like Romerman, Schwab, and Mouse, and that's just on the line. So the line judge back there, Sandy Hoff, says that was in. And give the ace to Wilsey. Wilsey to serve again. Protecting that back line now is a Kindred Vikings, and that was a laser shot, laser serve, handled by Keller. Put over the net by Brink of Kindred. Keller is going in, out of bounds, shoves it back into Brink, gets it over the net. Differding with the dig, sets it to the front line to Schwab on the attack, and the point off of Brink. And the kill for Schwab. She has 2 in this first set. Let's have something stuck on our scoreboard or scorebot there, or score hub, as we're still showing the pre-tournament or pre-match. That's a shot over here on the right side. Looked like Sanders put that one down. That's handled by the Broncos. Set to the front line by Keller. Sanders just going to bump it over. Wilsey sets it over to Mouse, goes up on the attack. Back to the front line. Sanders, and the block by the Broncos goes off of Romerman and out for the point for Kindred. Now 10-7, your score in favor of the Vikings. Broncos coming off that match against Inderland, dropping that one by 2-3 on Tuesday. Here's Keller, sets it up for Sanders with the kill, and the shot to the far corner on a diving. Qual not able to get it. Now the 4-point lead, or back to a 4-point lead, the largest of this match, or I should say the largest of the set for Kindred, and up 11-7. Sanders to serve. Going to give Sanders the ace on that. And the Broncos once again with the hustle, but not able to get underneath it and put the ball back up in the air. Not sure who got that. Maybe Nipstead up there. Sanders to serve again. There's the serve and the shot to Schwab, and the Broncos having all kinds of trouble with that serve by Sanders. She's hitting it across court, putting it right on about the line. This near side line in the Broncos court. And that's a timeout by the Broncos. And another ace by Sanders. That puts the Kindred Vikings up by a score of 13-7 on this timeout. We're going to step away, take a word from our sponsors. You're watching YourLiveEvent.com.
Buying and selling heavy equipment at PurpleWave.com saves time and money. We handle all of the details, including pictures, videos, marketing, titles, and payments.
It was almost immediately over the top with the customer service. I've just never ever experienced that before with any other auction service. They're constantly working for me as the seller, and I really like that.
Purple Wave Auction is straight, simple, sold.
Hey, welcome back to YourLiveEvent.com as the Kindred Vikings extend their lead now by 6, up 13-7. It was tied up at 2, but Kindred has just started to inch away now with some breathing room. A 6-point lead over Lisbon in this first set. 13-7 in favor of the Kindred Vikings. That's the serve by Sanders. The Broncos had a hard time to handle the serve of Sanders, and after the timeout, now they're on the attack. Romerman sends it long to the near side, and that's out. Now 14-7, 7-point lead with Sanders still to serve. Big jump serve, lands just in front of the line. Here's Erdman, sets it to Mouse on the near side. Set over on the far side going up. Qual's able to dig it out. That looked like McQuillian in the back there. See number 4, actually that was Clara Johnson, the freshman, on that attack. That sent it to Qual. And the point. Now 15-7, the 8-point lead. And that serve is in the net by Sanders, so Sanders finally relinquishes the serve. Back over to the Broncos, but she's helped build a 7-point lead. Now 15-8 with Aubrey Oppen to serve for Lisbon. Like Qual and Mouse take a seat. Front line is Wortman, Schwab, and Romerman. That's just up over the fingertip. Romerman able to get a fingertip on it, was able to get it to Schwab. And on the attack, Wortman sends it long on the far corner. Actually, was it? It was long, so point goes to the Kindred Vikings. Now 16-8, back to the 8-point lead. Kindred with the serve. That was Nipstead with the serve. Here to Wortman with the attack, and that's blocked by Johnson and Kittleson. So Johnson and Kittleson with the block. Maybe I got that wrong. That's Jordheim, sorry. Wearing the number 4 jersey. I was looking on the JV roster. Another point going over to Kindred, now up 18-8, 10-point lead as it continues to grow. Served by Nipstead. Here's Wilsey, sets it to Wortman with some authority. And Differding not able to handle it off the net. And the Broncos with the timeout as things a little bit faster for the Broncos. They need to slow things down as Kindred now up 19-8, build the 11-point lead as we'll also take a step away. This is YourLiveEvent.com.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and RJBroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and RJBroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
All right, welcome back. Lisbon High School Gymnasium up on the Bank North scoreboard. The Kindred Vikings have built an 11-point lead over the Lisbon Broncos by a score of 19-8. In Bank North, your trusted financial partner for generations, helping customers and communities build, grow, and prosper. To see what values-based banking can do for you, visit banknorth.bank today. Bank North, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. This is your Bank North scoreboard feature update as we have Nipstead here. Nipstead serves for Kindred. It's handled by Differding. Wilsey sends it back across the net, back to the front line. The set in the attack just bumped over by Kittleson. Back to the front line in the attack at the net. And that was Trenbeth for Kindred. Back, pushing it over, trying to hit that far corner. Opp with the diving save. Good play by Opp. Goes Wortman, sends it. Laser shot and a kill for Wortman. She finally gets one down for the Broncos. But maybe just a little bit too late, as now we're still with the 10-point lead, 19-9. 6 more points for Kindred to win this set. Here's Differding with the jump serve. Set to the front line. Trenbeth goes back up, pushes it over. Back to the front line of the Broncos. That's Romerman. Sends it over. Back to the far side. Far side was Jordheim. Pushes it over. Up with the attack and blocked. And put down was Lila Kittleson for the point for Kindred. Now 20-9 in favor of the Kindred Vikings. And looks like Onken back to serve. Sends it to Opp. Front line, Wortman pushes it over. Looks like that went to Sanders. There's Jordheim, sends it long, and the point for the Broncos. 10-point lead, or back to the 10-point lead for Kindred. Broncos subbing in Adair into serve. So Adair into serve. It looked like Mara Nelson out for the Broncos. Going to the front line and pushing it over. That was Kittleson back. Broncos send it back over. Handled by Sanders. Dug it out on the far side. Looked like McQuillian. McQuillian able to dig it out. Sends it back over to Kittleson. Now back to the front line. Hoff sends it over. Good rally going here. And Sanders hits it into the net. The Broncos with the point. As Hoff was a little bit in, or a little bit close there, but able to stay out of the net. And the point to the Broncos. Here's Adair to serve again. Handled by Keller. Onken to Sanders, sends it over the net to Opp for the Broncos. Adair front line. Wortman goes up with the attack, and off of Keller, and the point for the Broncos, and the kill for Wortman now with 2. Tied with Schwab for the Broncos. (20-12) in favor of the Kindred Vikings. So Coach Amy Lyons able to settle the Broncos back down. Things were getting a little bit out of control. A little bit fast for the Broncos, making some errors. Now playing some good ball. As Adair not able to hit the one-handed dig now. 21-12. 9-point lead for Kindred. Give that one to Kittleson. I missed that one. Sometimes I become a spectator and forget to write the stats here. 21-12 in favor of the Vikings. And the jump serve. Looks like that was Brink with the serve. Oh, and a point goes to the Broncos. So a point to the Broncos. And the serve by Erdman. Here to the front line. The attack by Sanders just bumps it over. Differding with the touch, digs it back up. Wilsey denied over here on the near side. And that was Sanders and Kittleson up with the block. So 22-13. Back to the 9-point lead with Keller to serve for Kindred. Keller serves it up. That's to Hoff. Over to Differding. Wilsey is going to send it over. Dug out by Keller to the front line. The attack. And finding the soft spot. Nobody home over there. Erdman couldn't make it. And that's Nipstead with the kill. Great location on the attack by Nipstead for the point. 10-point lead and 2 points away now for taking this first set for Kindred. That serve put up in the air by Quall. Good dig by Quall, gets it up. Differding sends it over, finds the inside far corner for the point. And the kill for Differding. Now 23-14, 9-point lead for Kindred. Looks like Hoff in to serve for the Broncos. So Cameron Hoff with the serve. 9-point lead for Kindred. Keller gets it back into Brink, who sends it over the net. Quall sets it to the front line. Mouse tips it over. Put back in play by Onken. Sanders goes up with the attack. Blocked by Schwab. Put over by Quall to the back line. Keller back to the front line. Kindred. Sanders and blocked, but falls on the Broncos side of the net for the Kindred point. Now 24-14, 10-point lead. Here for Sanders. I have Sanders with 3 kills, 2 blocks, and 2 aces in the scoring columns for Kindred. That was McWillian with the serve. Broncos put it back over. McWillian sets it over to Sanders with the attack, blocked by the Broncos and put back. That was Schwab and Wilsey. So the block kill by the Wilsey-Schwab combo. Broncos still alive in this set now, 24-15, and that'll do it as the Kindred Vikings take the first set, 25-15. So the 10-point set victory for the Kindred Vikings, as we will step away, take a word from our sponsors, and we'll come back for set number 2. That's just ahead on yourliveevent.com.
Riverside Building Center in Lisbon is the premier building supply headquarters in southeastern North Dakota. They have it from the basic home improvements to complete pre-built homes. Their staff is knowledgeable in every product they sell. With their large inventory and a fleet of 6 delivery vehicles, Riverside Building Center in Lisbon can bring the products to your job site. From a hammer all the way to a home, they have you covered. Visit rbclisbon.com today. That's rbclisbon.com, Riverside Building Center in Lisbon.
All right, welcome back. This is your Olson Accounting set recap as the Kindred Vikings defeat the Lisbon Broncos in our first set up on the Banknorth scoreboard by a score of 25-15. As the Vikings and the Broncos, a little back and forth battle. Our first 4 points, we were tied up at 2 apiece, but Kindred kept the pressure on the Broncos and making fewer mistakes and just slowly started to separate themselves and eventually pulling away with that 10-point win. As we had Taylor Sanders for the Kindred Vikings, I have her down for 3 kills, 2 blocks, and 2 aces. Lila Kittleson with 3 blocks and a kill. Jasmine Beauclair with a kill. Sierra Nipstead with a block and 2 kills. McCoolian with 2 aces for the Kindred Vikings, as well as Jenner Jordheim. Excuse me. Yeah, that is Jenner Jordheim. I have Jenner Jordheim also with a block for the Kindred Vikings. The Lisbon Broncos in the set recap have Bryn Wilsey with an ace. Wright Wortman with 2 kills. Emerson Schwab with 3 kills for the Broncos, and Brindley Differding also with a kill. And that rounds out the individual scoring for each of these teams in that first set on your Olson Accounting recap. At Olson Accounting, if you need help with monthly accounting or payroll, let senior staff give you a hand. Rely on the friendly team of professionals at Olson Accounting for your tax and accounting needs. Go to colsoncpa.com. That is your Olson Accounting set recap. As we will step away, take a 30-second timeout, come back for our second set of the evening.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
All right, welcome back. As we wrapped up our Olson Accounting set recap, we're back now for the second set. The Broncos go down in that first set by a score of 25-15. And Lisbon set to lead things off with the serve in our second set. Looks like Aubrey Opp will have that serve or have that privilege. As goose eggs on the board for both teams starting our second set. Looks like our line judges have rotated. Now we have Benjamin Zarbach over here on the near side corner. The far side corner on the Broncos side is Sandy Hoff. And then our line judges, our officials are Sydney Anderson and Jeremy Luccio. As the officials now set with their lineups as we start our second set. For the Broncos, they have Wortman, Romerman, and Schwab. Opt to serve along with Wilsey and Differding on the backcourt. Here's on to the front line, going up, and right away off the whistle and off the serve was Kittleson with the kill. Nobody home on that near side corner of the Broncos, so Kittleson with the kill. Yeah, she just sent a nice soft overhand shot to the opposite corner. And Keller to serve. Keller with the serve. Held by Opp. Wilsey pushes it over to Wortman. Wortman with the attack. Gets it back to the front line. Sanders goes up. Opp digs it out. Wortman back up again, and this time just off the fingertips, and that's out. Or no fingertips. And that shot just a little bit far. Or maybe not. Maybe that was fingertips. Okay. And that's why I'm up here in the announcer's booth and not officiating, as we're now tied up at 1, so give Wilsey, or excuse me, give Wertman the kill. Set to the front line, opposite side, and that's long by Beauclair. So Jasmine Beauclair on the right side front line sends it long. The point for the Broncos. Now up 2-1 in the second set. Schwab to serve. That's dug out by Keller. So Keller and Brink switch jersey. Now Brink wearing the white jersey. In the block up front by Sanders and Nipstead. And that looks like Onken takes a seat. And the jump serve by McQuillian, sent to the front line. Here's Hoff going up and blocked and out, going out on the Viking side. Point for the Broncos, as that was off the fingertips on that right side line, front line of Kindred. So give Hoff the kill. Broncos maintain the lead now up 3-2. Here's Adair to serve, gets a shot over there to Brink, in the attack, in the kill. Going out to Jenner Jordheim. And the serve, now Sanders with the big serve. Broncos had a hard time in that first set, and she gets another ace for Taylor Sanders in this set with a block and an ace. That first set she had two aces, 2 blocks and 3 kills. Set to serve again. Now Kindred's up 4-3 off the big jump serve. Sends it this time to the opposite side. Opp able to handle it. Wilsey goes up trying to find the soft spot. Back to the front line. And that's put over the net by Jordheim. And the kill for Jordheim. Now 5-3. Maybe looking at the same scenario as that first set. Or back and forth battle. The first 4 points. This one that was about the first 5. And the Broncos send this one long by Differding. Now 6-3 as Kindred opens up the 3-point lead. And the serve by Sanders again. Here's Wilsey with the attack, sends it to Sanders, goes to the front line. Over here to Trenbeth. Trenbeth not able to get it over, and the Broncos put it back for the point now, 6-4. Workman the block now for the Broncos front line. Looks like we have Hoff, Wilsey, and Mouse. Erdman to serve along with Differding and Adair in the backcourt. Broncos give up the serve there. Erdman puts it in the net now, 7-4 in favor of the Vikings. Here's Sierra Nipstead. Nipstead now with 2 blocks and 2 kills. Sends this one to Erdman to the front line of the Broncos. Mouse opposite side. That's put up in the air by McQuillian. Trenbeth puts it over for the kill off of Adair. So Trenbeth helps extend the lead for Kindred. Now 8-4 up to the 4-point lead. Here goes to the front line for Adair for the Broncos. Hoff goes up with the attack. Sanders able to dig it out. Back to the front line and nobody home. As everybody caught flat-footed in that front line of the Vikings. And the good hustle over there by Adair for the point. Here's Differding with the jump serves. Sends it to the back line. Handled by Brink to the front line. And the attack, and that's wide on the shot by Kittleson. Broncos down by 2 in the second set. Biggest lead, 3 points in this set for Kindred. Here's Differding with the jump serve. Sends it to Sanders to the front line. And the big shot. And sending it wide and long. That was Jordheim. So a couple of errors on the hits by Kindred. has the Broncos down by 1 point in this second set. Differting with the serve. Puts it over to Sanders. Back to the front line here. The Trenbeth goes up off the hands, the outstretched hands of Wilsey and Schwab. And out on the Broncos side, off the fingertips, for the 9-7 lead for Kindred. And that looks like Onken, Lauren Onken back to score. A 5'2" senior setter back with the serve to Mouse. Mouse to Adair. Wilsey goes up. That's blocked on the front line by the Kindred Vikings. That looked like Trenbeth and Sanders, and then put over by Kittleson for the kill. So it looked like Trenbeth and Kittleson blocked it. And Kittleson was able to get back over on the opposite side of the net, or opposite side of the court. That was put up by Trenbeth, partially blocked. Now she digs it out, sends it to Sanders with the shot. Differding puts it in the air to the Broncos. Mouse digs it over. Trenbeth to the, or say Sanders to the front line. Adair digs it out for Lisbon. The Wilsey with the attack sends it to the near side corner, and the point, as Sanders not able to get to it. So the point for Wilsey, or the kill for Wilsey. Have her with an ace and a kill. She's back to serve for the Broncos. Back to the 2-point lead for Kindred, as the Broncos able to keep it close. And the serve by Wilsey to Sanders. And now that was Jasmine Beauclair. And the Broncos send this one wide off the shot by the front line. And the point for the Vikings now with the 3-point lead, up 11-8. Keller back in, and she will serve. So Mallory Keller to serve. As I said, Brink now wearing that white libero jersey. Keller to serve. Here's Wilsey on the front line, sets it for Schwab on the attack, and that's blocked by the Vikings. And that was by Beauclair and Kittleson with the block. Back to the, now the 4-point lead. Served by Keller, dug out by Differding for Lisbon. Front line attack by Schwab. That was off the hands of Onken. Here's Keller to Brink, sends it over the net. Here's Romerman with the attack, sends it over. Keller to Sanders, front line for the Vikings on the attack. Handled by the Broncos. Malmos goes up with the attack. This is going to the net. And Lisbon able to recover, sends the ball into the air to Romerman, hits it over in. Looks like we do have a violation by the Broncos as she carried it over by Romerman. So a point going over off a good rally. That was a good point until that violation. Now 13-8, a 5-point lead for Kindred. Wilsey goes up, cross court, and that's just out. Now 14-8, and the Broncos with the timeout, down by 6 to the Kindred Vikings. As this is our second set of the evening, Vikings won the first set by a score of 25-15. The Broncos down here 14-8, down by 6. We'll step away for another 30-second timeout. This is YourLiveEvent.com.
Proud to celebrate 125 years of service, and they built a legacy of trust and commitment to the local communities. Loan Officer Wyatt Smith can help achieve your goals and grow your business with confidence. Here's Zach Maralt on his experience.
We tried a few different lenders before purchasing our building, and we eventually ended up going to see Wyatt, who I already personally knew anyways. He made the purchasing process easy. We pretty much had an answer that day, pushed all our accounts there, and it's a great experience.
The Ringneck.
All right, welcome back. YourLiveEvent.com. The Broncos down by 6 points, 14-8 to the Kindred Vikings. Broncos had managed to get within 1. And now the Vikings able to pull away and opening up a 6-point lead as they'll continue to serve off, or I should say for Keller. Keller with the serve for Kindred. The Broncos have the timeout, now down by 6 in the second set. Here's Erdman, digs it out. Romerman sends it over for the Broncos. Back to the front line of the Vikings. Sanders is going to go up with the attack, and that's wide. Just missed the near side corner. She sent it straight down the line, just wide. And the Broncos with the point now, down by 5, 14-9. And here's Aubrey Opp to serve. Opp sends it over. This is to Brink, and Brink not able to handle it, goes off the wall. And now 10-14 off the ace for Aubrey Opp. So 14-10. That's Keller, sets it to the front line. Onken chooses to send over. Romerman goes up, and that's blocked. Romerman had the attack in the net, and Sanders goes up and blocks it. So Taylor Sanders now with 4 blocks. Yes, Romerman had a nice looking attack going up. Had some power on the shot, but Sanders sends it back and scores the point. Here's Brink to serve. Broncos down by 5 in this set. Brink with the jump serve, sends it to Opp on the Broncos side. Over to Wertman. And the point here for Wertman as Keller sends it to the front line. Nobody home. We're able to get a hand on it for Kindred. So Wertman with the point. Off the attack. Now the Broncos down by 4. Schwab to serve. Sends it across the net to Sanders, to the front line to Onken. And that was Nipstead sends it over for Kindred. Now Wertman goes up again on the attack and the kill. As the far side of Beauclair and Nipstead not able to handle the attack of Wertman. The Broncos down by 3. Here's Schwab with the serve. Sends it to the back line to Keller. Going up, Sanders with the attack. Blocked by the Broncos. That was Wertman and Hoff. Sanders going up again over the fingertips of Romerman and Hoff. Now Wertman goes up, and that's blocked. Put up in the air. A nice save there by Wilsey, but not able to get it to land in. Yes, Sanders would not be denied as she just kept hammering the ball. Finally gets one over the net. The Broncos weren't able to handle. And that puts the serve back to McWillian with 2 aces in the first set. Hoffbo goes up, and the block not successful for the Kindred Vikings. That looked like Nipstead and Jordheim going up. So Hoff with the kill again. Give her 2. Remember, these are just unofficial stats and scoring. Broncos now down by 3 as they've battled back, down by 3. Here to the front line. Sanders goes up and just on the line. And that might be the spark that the Vikings need as Sanders lands that one just inside the line, the back line for the point, and she has the serve now. Down by 4 of the Broncos. We'll see if the Vikings able to take advantage of that. Here's Sanders with the serve. The Broncos hustle over, able to dug out by Differding. Opp sends it over. Here's to Brink on the front line. McQuillian. And that was Nipstead sent it over. Here's to Wilsey, opposite side. Hits it to McQuillian. And that shot by Jordheim with the kill. The Broncos not able to handle it. Shot went through a couple Broncos. And the Broncos down by 5, and we do have a sub in and out. Looks like Josie Haas, a 5'6" sophomore. In for Kindred. Sanders to serve. So they have McQuillian and Brink in the backcourt along with Sanders for Kindred. And that's off of Differding. Not sure if Differding was ready for that one, as that was a shot by Sanders for the ace. (19-13). Kindred pulling away. Differding with the dig. Wilsey goes up. That's off the net. And put back on the Broncos side off the net. The Broncos now down by 7. They do have a timeout inside the Lisbon High School Gymnasium up on that Bank North scoreboard. The Kindred Vikings lead the Lisbon Broncos in our second set 20-13. You're watching YourLiveEvent.com.
Dinner in Leonard, North Dakota. They have a wide variety menu from burgers, wraps, steak, chicken, and seafood. For that small-town family-owned dining experience, check out the Ring Neck today. To place an order ahead of time for takeout, call 701-645-2461. That's 701-645-2461. For more information and daily food specials, search the Ring Neck on Facebook. That's the Ring Neck in Leonard.
All right, welcome back. YourLiveEvent.com. Kindred Vikings now extending this lead 20-13. The Broncos had managed to pull within 3. But since then, it's been the Kindred Vikings now pulling away for the 7-point lead. And a little bit more breathing room. Trying to close this second set out with Sanders serving. Sanders in the second set has 2 aces, 2 aces, 2 blocks, and a kill for Taylor Sanders for Kindred. She goes up with the serve, puts this one down. Differting not able to handle it. She sends that just to the heart of the middle of the Broncos defense, or the middle of their line. Sanders goes up again. This time sends it to Opp. And that's off of Opp and out. Now 22-13. Give her another ace. So that's 2 back-to-back. This one's going off of Differding now to Hoff. Adair sends it over. There's McQuillian to Brink. Over here to Trinbeth. And the point goes to the Broncos. 22-14. The Broncos sub out Opp for Mouse, along with Wertman. Erdman in to serve. Front line for the Broncos is Mouse, Wilsey, and Hoff. And that's sent over, and just not enough, not able to get it over the net. Off the attack. And that was Josie Haas for Kindred. Point goes to the Broncos, 22-15, down by 7. Here's Erdman to serve. She sends it over to Trenbeth. McQuillian to the front line. Jordheim with the finger tap layup. So Jenner Jordheim give her the kill. And Josie Haas to serve. 23-15 in favor of the Vikings. She has a laser serve, sent it to Erdman. Broncos send it to the back line. Now front line for Kindred. Jordheim goes up with the attack on the opposite side, sends a laser shot. Erdman not able to handle it for the kill, and the point for Kindred now just 1 point away from their second set victory and taking the 2-0 lead over the Broncos, 24-15 in favor of the Vikings. Haas serves again. This is to Wilsey. To the front line, and the attack in long. That shot was just long by Kittleson. Broncos with the point, 24-16. They're down by 8. Here's a serve by Differding to the front line. Schwab sends it over. Tap back by Mouse. Good reaction by the Broncos front line there, and the point for Lisbon, 24-17. Kind of playing patty cake there. Good reaction by Schwab and Mouse on the front line. There's Differding to serve. McQuillian gets it to Trenbeth. Broncos send it back over. McQuillian now off the fingertips. That was Kittleson with the attack, and that was off the fingertips of the Broncos, and that's a second set victory. And a kill for Kittleson. Now Kindred leads by a 2-0 lead over the Lisbon Broncos in this match, as we'll step away for a timeout, come back for that Olson Accounting second set recap. That's just ahead on YourLiveEvent.com.
Wallet Johnson Insurance is your friendly neighborhood team of qualified insurance professionals celebrating over 40 years of service. As an experienced independent insurance agency, they have access to highly rated insurance companies and can shop around to find you an affordable solution for farm, crop, business, home, and auto insurance. Visit them at one of their locations in Lisbon, Winter, or Rutland and get a free quote started today. For more information, go to nd-insure.com.
From on-site farm repairs to maintaining the condition of your vehicle, trust the staff at Welton's Tire Service. They've served the Lisbon area since 1972, guaranteeing customers satisfaction and workmanship from farm equipment, tire services, and preventative vehicle maintenance. You'll find it all from affordable prices, free estimates, to their knowledgeable technicians answering any question. Welton's Tire Service is locally owned and located on Main Street in Lisbon. For information, go online to weltonstire.net or call 701-683-5136.
Hey, welcome back. This is your 11vet.com, and this is your Olson Accounting second set recap as the Kindred Vikings pull away for the victory 25-17 over the Lisbon Broncos. They won that first set by a score of 25-15. In the second set, the Broncos and the Vikings, nice back and forth battle. The Broncos at one point led 4-3 early, and then Kindred just able to once again pull away from the Lisbon Broncos. The Broncos eventually got themselves back into the set. They were down 15-12, and then from there on, it was for the most part the Kindred Vikings off the serve of Keller and Sanders, or the play of Keller and Sanders, along with Lila Kittleson and Jenna Jordheim and Jenner Jordheim pitching in for the second set victory for the Kindred Vikings. For the Broncos, in that set, I had Bring Milsey with a kill, Wertman with 2 kills and a block for Lisbon, and Cameron Hoff with 2 kills, with 2 kills, and Cameron Hoff with 2 kills, and Aubrey Opp with an ace for the Lisbon Broncos. In the second set for the Kindred Vikings, Lila Kittleson with 3 kills and a block, Taylor Sanders with 4 aces, 2 blocks and a kill, Jasmine Beauclair with a block along with Sierra Nipstead, and then Jenner Jordheim with 4 kills and a block in that second set for that Kindred Viking 25-17 victory over the Lisbon Broncos. Now lead this match by a score of 2-0 over the Lisbon Broncos. Kindred set to serve in our third set. As the Broncos at time have been able to put together a couple of rallies and score back-to-back points. Broncos having a tough time defending the serve of Taylor Sanders. Yeah, she was able to record 4 aces in that set against the Broncos. And here's Kindred with the serve. That looked like Onken to lead things off for Kindred in this set. Sanders sets it to the front line to Onken. That was over to Trenbeth. Brink able to dig it out. Differding sends it over to Wilsey. And Differding now digs it back over the net to the Vikings going up. That was Kittleson. And that one goes wide, so the Broncos once again with the first point. Now in the third set, they lead 1-0. And that's an attack at the net. And sends it long, so that looks like Sydney Spellhog, the 5'8" opposite hitter. Junior 5'8" opposite hitter, Sydney Spellhog. There's Sanders back to the front line. Spellhog goes up. This time pushes it over. Schwab able to save it. Wertman goes up with the attack, sends it long. Yeah, it's a little bit too much on it. And sent that one long. And the point as the Broncos have the 2-0 lead. Now 2-1's your score. Keller to serve. So Keller to serve for the Kindred Vikings. She is just has consistent player, consistent serve. Hoff gets it over for the Broncos, and that was at the net. Onken not able to hit the ball over with Hoff and Wertman to defend for the Broncos. Broncos up by 2 in this set. 3-1 with Adair into serve. So Ava Adair serves for the Broncos. Looks like Opp and Differding on the backcourt for Lisbon. Here's Keller and Sanders with a rare error in the front line. Off the attack, just kind of misjudged that one. And the point for the Broncos. Now up 4-1. See, this is their biggest lead, a 3-point lead. Sanders goes up this time, punches it over. Front line of the Broncos, Wertman sends it over. Here's Onken to Sanders off the attack. The Broncos able to get a hand on it. But Adair not able to reach the ball as it was going to the out-of-bounds side. And the ball does drop out for the point for the Vikings. Broncos up by 2, 4-2 in our third set. And the ace going over there for Brink. Off the serve. Brink with the serve on the near side. Sends it across. That's to the net and the point. Off the net as it just rolls over. Has the Broncos front line kind of caught off guard. Here's Brink to serve again. We're tied up at 4. This time the opposite side hits Hoff in the foot. Tough serve to dig out. But now the Broncos are down by 1, 5-4. Brink to serve again. Give her another ace. It's 2 in a row for Brink. Jump serve sends this one to Differding, center of the court. Oh, Sanders with the attack. And sends that one long. The Broncos able to tie it up now. 5 apiece off the hitting error by Sanders. As her attack goes long. It brings in Erdman to serve for Lisbon. Wertman on the bench, front line for the Broncos. Looks like Hoff, Wilsey, and Mouse. Here's Onken. And tapped over the Broncos with the block. I guess if it was a double hit, something went on there. I thought it was a block, and then she was able to dig it. A one-handed dig in the front line. Not sure if that was the Dare or Mouse. So the point goes over to the Kindred Vikings. McCoolian with the serve, dug out by Differding. Here's Adair. Mouse goes up at the attack, sends it cross court, near side corner, and that's just long for Mouse on the shot from the opposite side. And the point for the Vikings now up by 2. McCoolian with the serve, sends this one to Hoff, digs it out. Wilsey goes up, tap back over and blocked by Jordheim and Nipstead. So the serve for the Vikings. McCoolian continues to serve. Dug out by Differding. Front line of the Broncos. Gets it over and going up was Hoff and Nipstead. Vikings get it over back to the front line of the Broncos. Hoff goes over, taps it in the air. Brink sends it to Sanders, and that attack is long. Sanders sends another one long, just a little bit off in her timing now as she sent 2 missiles across the net, both long, kind of back to back. Point for the Broncos. Broncos down by 2. Hoff with the serve, sends it to Brink of the Vikings. Front line, the Broncos up with the block. Schwab goes up. Oh, good play. And the point for the Kindred Vikings. The one-handed dig here by Brink and Keller. And the Vikings somehow score that point. Lands just inside the line of the near side line of the Broncos. And the jump serve by Sanders in the ace for Sanders. Like I said, the Broncos having a hard time controlling that serve, are able to defend against that serve of Sanders now. With 8 aces off the serve. Another shot off the net. This one to Mouse, not able to handle it. And that's another ace for Sanders. Up now 11-6, building the 5-point lead for Kindred. Sanders, this time goes wide as she's continued to attack that opposite side of the left side of the Broncos defense. Sends that one wide. So now the Broncos down by 4. Wilsey serves it. Gets this one to Brink, digs it out. Back to the front line. Pushed over by the Vikings. I think that's Nipstead with the attack. Give her the kill, so she'll also serve. 12-7 in favor of the Vikings with the serve. The Differding of the Broncos. Front line, Schwab comes up, taps it over. In the point for Schwab for the Broncos. With the kill, she has 4. Broncos down by 4, Opp in to serve. Mouse and Erdman take a seat. Broncos with Opp, Differding, Wilsey, Romerman, Schwab, and Wertman in. Here's Sanders, front line. It's going up. It was Kittleson with the attack. Broncos, Wertman sends it over. To Sanders, digs it out, back to the front line. That goes over to Trenbeth, dug out by Differding. Wertman goes back up again on the attack, dug out by Sanders of the Vikings. Back to the front line. Blocked by the Broncos. And the point off that far side looked like Schwab and Wertman with the block. Served by Opp of the Broncos. Front line, Trenbeth with the attack, sends it over. Opp digs it out for Lisbon. Wertman goes up, finds the soft spot. Trenbeth not able to get the ball over to her teammate on the far side. Broncos down by 2. So Opp sends it over again. Sanders digs it out. Back to the front line. Broncos one-handed dig, not able to find the magic that the Vikings found a couple points before with those one-handed digs as that ball goes out on the Broncos side. Point for the Kindred Vikings, 13-10. Here's Onken in to serve. She sends a shot just inside the line. I mean, you can't get much better placement than that. Hard to defend that. Serve, Differding not able to get there. Now 14-10, 4-point lead for Kindred as they now have the 2-0 lead. Over the Lisbon Broncos, they won the first set 25-15, second set 25-17. Here's Wilsey, sets it to Schwab, and the point for the Vikings. And the Broncos down by 5. A timeout. Called by Coach Amy Lyons of the Lisbon Broncos. As the Broncos down 15-10 in our third set, we're going to step away for another 30-second timeout.
Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. 3, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
All right, welcome back. This is yourliveevent.com as the Lisbon Broncos down by 5 in our third set. They had an early lead in this one, a 3-point lead, 4-1, and now Kindred has grabbed a 5-point lead in this match this evening. We have Taylor Sanders of the Kindred Vikings. I have her down for 9 aces. She's been the difference serving and on the attacks. And that's Wortman going up, and that's blocked by the Kindred Vikings. So that was Kittleson with the block. And Sydney Spellhog, and that is now a 16-10 lead. Or I should say 16-11. That serve is wide by the Vikings. Schwab to serve. See if the Broncos can get something going off of the serve by Schwab, and she'll send it long. On the air on that serve, now 17-11. Broncos not able to take advantage of the serve by Schwab, now down by 6 again. As Ivy Trinbreath now on the bench. There's Keller to serve for the Kindred Vikings. Here's Wilsey. Hoff goes up on the attack off of Brink in the point. In the kill for Hoff. Broncos down by 5, 17-12. Ava Adair to serve. So Adair will serve. Broncos front line, we'll see Wortman and Hoff dug out by Keller, put back by Hoff. Good reaction. And it looks like the carryover by Hoff. Good heads-up play, just wasn't able to execute correctly, and Broncos give up a point, now down by 6 once again. Here's Keller with the serve, or I should say Brink with the serve. Adair sets it for Wilsey on the attack, and that's blocked, but it goes out on the Viking side. So give Wilsey the point and the Broncos the point. Broncos down by 5. Erdman to serve for Lisbon. Kindred with 2 timeouts. Broncos with none in this set. Going up. That was Spellhog on the attack. In the kill for Spellhog off of Erdman. And now a 19-13 lead, 6-point lead for the Kindred Vikings. Biggest one of this set. And Aquilian in to serve. It's like Haas back in the front line for Kindred. That was Hoff for Broncos. Tried to hit the dig and then sent it back over towards the Bronco bleachers. Point for the Kindred Vikings. Now Broncos down by 7. Nicolian to serve again. Jump serve. Broncos not able to handle it, as that was Quall and Differding. And their score inside the Lisbon High School Gymnasium, 21-13 in favor of the Kindred Vikings, as we do have another timeout, and we'll step away for one more of our own here on YourLiveEvent.com.
While medicine's greatest advancements look like the latest sci-fi, one of our most powerful tools is far more simple, more human. It's a calling to connect with purpose. That's how we're evolving healthcare, by treating people, not just patients, with innovations that amplify healing and lead to more personalized care, guided by the belief we all hold the power to heal.
All right, welcome back to YourLiveEvent.com. The Lisbon Broncos down in this match. 2-0 to the Kindred Vikings. The Vikings up in our third set by a score of 21-13. They have built an 8-point lead against the Broncos. The Broncos at one time had their biggest lead, a 3-point lead over the Kindred Vikings. I think that was 4-1 early on. Now Wilsey sends it over to the front to Keller. Back to the front line of the Vikings. Sanders goes up with the attack. It's dug out by Quall. Hoff sends a shot over. Dug out by Brink. Front line. Differding sends it back. And that shot on the attack, and that is in. Just on the line on the near side by Jenner Jordheim with another kill. Have her for 6 kills and 2 blocks in the game, or in the match. That's McCullion with the serve. Paul digs it out. Hoff able to get it up. Differding sends it over for the Broncos. Back to the front line. Haas with the shot in the attack for a kill off of Hoff of the Broncos. Now 23-13, 10-point lead. For Kindred, 2 points away from a third set victory and a 3-0 win of the match, and that's blocked in off of Haas and Beauclair. So here's Hoff to serve. Jump serve, sends it over to Brink, not able to handle it. Oh, and somehow that goes over the net. I thought it hit the floor. But they're able to keep the ball in play. Neither team giving up on it. Nobody celebrating for the Broncos, as that could have happened. Celebrating a little too early in the attack on the far side by the Vikings. The Broncos will see, sends it over. That's dug out by Beauclair. Going up in the attack for a point is Jordheim with the kill once again. The Kindred Vikings with a little set magic once again. The shoestring save. Glances off another Kindred Viking. Goes over the net. The Broncos continue to play it. And then Jenner Jordheim eventually with the attack and kill. 1 point away. Now they're up by 10. 24-14 in the third set. There's McQuillian, and there a little confusion over on that far side after McQuillian set it. Jordheim over there. 9-point lead, 1 point away for the Kindred Vikings. The Broncos down by 9. Served by Erdman. Jordheim there to Haas on the attack, front line. Good play by Maus. Differding gets it back over the net. Brink, McQuillian sets it. And that's off of Ivy Trenbreath with the kill. So Trenbreath closes out the set for the Kindred Vikings. The Vikings win this one by a score of 25-17 for the 3-set match victory over the Lisbon Broncos. As we'll go ahead and step away. We'll come back for Olson Accounting match recap. That's just ahead on yourlevevent.com.
Fall is here, and that means harvest will ramp up quickly. How did your planter do this spring? Did you have the correct down pressure? Was your singulation spot on? Did you need row cleaners or a better closing system? This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer, and we are here to help. Discounts, 0% financing, and $50 per row rebates on most all systems will give you the tools to improve your planter pass. Give us a call at 701-636-2119 or visit planterdoc.com. Have a safe and profitable harvest.
What if we said a bank isn't a place to lock up money? It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if, a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
Keep your car moving along with the team at Elite Automotive Center in Fargo. What sets Elite Automotive Center apart from the herd is their truly extensive list of services. From brake and tire service to tune-ups and battery replacement, there's no job too big or small for their ASE certified technicians. Schedule your next oil change by going to EliteAutomotiveCenter.com or scan the QR code on your screen now. Never settle for standard service. Stop by Elite Automotive Center today in Fargo.
At Enbridge, we're...
All right, welcome back. YourLiveEvent.com as we finish up our match this evening between the victorious Kindred Vikings defeating the Lisbon Broncos by a score of 3-0 inside the Lisbon High School Gymnasium. As we'll recap our Olson Accounting match recap here on YourLiveEvent.com with the first set going to the Kindred Vikings by a score of 25-15. That was a back-and-forth battle tied up at 2 apiece, and then Kindred ended up being able to just kind of pull away, going point for point for the Broncos, I guess, to start things out, and then were able to open it up and eventually pull away for a 10-point victory. The same thing in that second set for a 25-17 Kindred victory in the second set, where Taylor Sanders for the Kindred Vikings in the second set ended up with 4 aces, 2 blocks, and a kill, and really was a difference maker in that set as the Broncos battling Kindred in that one. They went down 25-17. And in the third set, the Broncos go down once again 25-17. Broncos at 1 point led early by a score of 4-1, had the 3-point lead, their biggest lead of the match this evening. And the difference in that one for the Kindred Vikings, that was Jenner Jordheim off the bench for Kindred, as Jordheim has a halfer now in this match with 7 kills and 2 blocks coming off the bench. She had a number of those in that third set for the Kindred Vikings, helping them to the third set victory. And the Kindred Vikings walk away now 3-0 over the Lisbon Broncos. And looking at our stats for Lisbon's Bryn Wilsey with 2 kills and a block. Wright Wertman leading the Broncos along with Emerson Schwab in kills, both players for the Broncos with 5 kills. Wertman with 2 blocks and Schwab with 1 block. Abriop with an ace. Cameron Hoff with 3 kills and Brinley Differding with a kill. And then for the Kindred Vikings, they were led in kills by Jenner Jordan. I have her down unofficially for 7, followed by Taylor Sanders. Sanders I have down for 5 kills. And just looking at all the individual stats, leading the Kindred Vikings, Taylor Sanders with 8 aces, 5 kills, and 4 blocks. Jenner Jordheim with 7 kills and 2 blocks. Lila Kittleson with 4 blocks and 4 kills. Unofficially, Mallory Keller with a kill. Jasmine Beauclair with 2 kills and 2 blocks. McQuillian with 2 aces. And Ivy Trenbreath with 3 kills. Jenner Jordheim, like I said, with 7 kills and 2 blocks. And then Caitlin Brink with 2 aces. Sydney Spellhog with a kill. And then Josie Haas with a kill for the Kindred Vikings. And that rounds out your individual stats for both the Lisbon Broncos and Kindred Vikings here on your Olson Accounting match recap. Kindred with the 3-0 win over the Lisbon Broncos. They won the first set 25-15, the second set 25-17, and ditto on the third set 25-17 over the Lisbon Broncos, as the Broncos now fall to 1-2 in region play, and they're 3-9 overall. The Kindred Vikings improved to 3-1 in region play, and they're now 6-2 overall. And the Broncos' next match is against the Central Cass Squirrels on the 23rd of September. And that one is at Central Cass. And then Kindred Vikings on the 23rd of September, they have a home match against Mayport CG Patriots. So that's where both teams currently stand in Region 1 play. The Broncos sitting at 1-2 in Region 1. Now the Kindred Vikings at 3-1. The Broncos with a region contest coming up with Central Cass on the 23rd, and then Kindred will face Mayport CG. Mayport CG is out of Region 2. So here on your live event, we still have our Enbridge Energy Play of the Game and our Agassiz Ag Precision Play of the Game. That's just ahead and moments away on yourliveevent.com.
23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
When you choose Farmers Union Insurance, you're backed by an insurance policy provider that meets your specific requirements. At Farmers Union Insurance Gullus & Olson Agency, they offer reliable insurance policies from homeowners, farm and ranch, contractors, small businesses, and more. Let Lance, Shelby, and the staff at Gullus & Olson Agency take care of you today. For more information, stop into their office on Main Street in Lisbon for Farmers Union Insurance Gullus & Olson Agency.
All right, welcome back. YourLiveEvent.com as we're here now for Agassiz Ag Precision Play of the Game. Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planning dealer. Agassiz Precision Ag in Hillsborough. Call 701-436-2119 or visit plannerdoc.com. That Precision Play of the Game, that's going in that third set. Kind of a miraculous dig out there with Keller and Brink able to have a shoestring one-handed dig. Somehow the ball didn't hit the floor and then glanced off of, I believe it was Keller, and then over the net for the eventual point, going to the Kindred Vikings, as they had two such plays, one in the second set as well. But this one here in the third set, you have to go back and watch that third set to see that. But that was just just one of those plays that you're not going to see every day. And you can watch it here, though, on yourliveevent.com. That's your Agassiz Ag Precision Play of the Game, going there to the Kindred Vikings with Brink and Keller. And then your Enbridge Energy Player of the Game here for Enbridge Energy. Life takes energy at Enbridge. Energy for life at Enbridge.com for your career opportunities. And that one's going to Taylor Sanders of the Kindred Vikings. Sanders, just a little bit too much for the Lisbon Broncos. On her serve, the Broncos didn't have much of an answer with 8 aces in this match. She also had 5 kills and 4 blocks. So a force for the Kindred Vikings in this victory over the Lisbon Broncos. She is your Enbridge Energy Player of the Game. And then your runner-up goes to Jenner Jordheim off the bench for the Kindred Vikings with 7 kills and 2 blocks for Kindred. And those are your Agassiz Ag Precision, or I should say your Enbridge Energy Players of the Game here for Enbridge Energy. As we're wrapping things up for the Lisbon Bronco High School Athletics this week, there is a football game tomorrow evening for the Lisbon Broncos. They'll take on the Oaks Tornadoes. And then the volleyball team is next action is on the 23rd of September as they will face the Central Cass Squirrels. So this is Brent Dick along with our cameraman this evening, Julio Vasquez, as we will sign off from Lisbon High School Gymnasium. And anybody that's out on the road traveling home, have a safe travels back, and we will see you next time for more Lisbon High School Broncos athletics.